up that 22. I've got 21, but you might be right, Stretch. I wish I could have found that out, actually. Well, the handout from Frank was one age, and then the program had another, so... Yeah, I thought he was 21. Oh, wait a minute, what am I? I may have 22, hold on. I've got 21. Yep. No, do I? Oh, I see. Yeah, it was, okay, right. Johnny Clark with an E, yeah, the Xboxer. No, Clark with an E, I can't remember. Johnny Clark, finally he found my years. I think he's 21. No, he didn't have an E. Let's get it accurate, Clark. Okay, no, I thought he did. Another one there on the ringside, Robert Powell. John? Stand being wrong. Johnny? John, is he 21 or 22? Do you know? 2, thanks. He's got me here, he told me he was coming. Where is he, the brat?
gentlemen, the next contest is the British Light Middleweight Championship made at 11 stone. 12 rounds of 3 minutes each round. Fighting out of the red corner, the present British Light Middleweight Champion, ranked 7th in Europe with 15 wins, 8 losses and 2 drawn, from Lymington, wearing black shorts. Please welcome Garry Cooper. Fighting out of the blue corner in white shorts with black stripes, from St Helens in Lancashire, the Central Area Light Middleweight Champion with 17 wins and 1 loss, ranked 8th in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Garry Stretch. At the weigh-in at 1 p.m. today, Cooper scaled 10 stone, 12 1/4 pounds. Stretch scaled 10 stone, 13 3/4 pounds. Your timekeeper for this event, Ray Rice. Your referee, Mr. Adrian Morgan.
Same result.
So finally this championship fight is on. It seems to have been months. It was postponed and called off on the day of the fight, and all kinds of things have happened, but Frank Warren has managed to put it on now at the Rivermead Centre in Reading, which is close for the Cooper supporters, the traveller from Lymington or the New Forest, and the old hand at 31 at this game, defending his championship. And he beat Michael Harris at Wembley last February over 12 rounds. And Garry Stretch, self-nicknamed the Gifted One, and brought a real personality supporters club here tonight. Good puncher in the, well, it looks like he's playing for Juventus, I think, the southpaw. And as far as the Southerners were concerned, the lad from St Helens was a big hit when he stopped the great run in the amateurs of George Collins. Referee from Wales, Adrian Morgan. No judges in the British Championship, so he's the sole arbiter. Did it go 12? He's known for his punching power, Stretch, but Cooper's a good, durable campaigner, always in good shape, and does the old-fashioned tree chopping that the old-timers used to do. Or at least they pose for pictures doing it anyway. That punch well. He moved his way into that long right-hand lead. He never showed on confidence, Jim, Garry Stretch, has he?
Well, this has been a good start for him again tonight. Some nice sharp punches, the bang on target. Cooper, I think, is quite used to having bad starts in fights, so it doesn't discourage him any. He keeps his chin down all the time and his hands up, so he's going to be catching a lot of punches tonight. But he doesn't want to let too many of these punches through. Stretch has started with some really powerful punches.
It's 11 stone division. He once had a world champion at this weight in Morris Hope. Been a bit smart there, Garry Stretch. He's not doing his occupation of the male model and standing still. And there's a 10-year pro then in his rundown. And He's only 22, Garry Stretch, so he's got the experience of age, and I don't know whether there's any lead in his legs, but I doubt that. And way back in '73, he won the Boys Clubs Championship and an England representative. And there's the details for Stretch then. Although he's from St Helens, he's actually working as a model quite a bit in London, and he's certainly got a fan club of well-known faces turned out to see him. And that one loss, in fact, was to Julian Montville, was cut in the second round. And whatever happened to Julian Montville? Johnny Clark, former good bantamweight champion, he was from London, training there. And into the second round, and referee Morgan making sure they don't come out too early for work. They don't get paid between rounds. Good punch-picking start, I thought, there by Stretch, Jim.
Yeah, it was a good first round for Stretch, considering he's a challenger. There is the challenger, shaken by that one slightly. No, he's laughing. Maybe his feet just slipped a little bit, but it looked a good enough punch, and maybe just to remind him these championship fights can be hard.
I never take liberties with an old pro champion. And that's given the Cooper fan club something to shout about. And they're here in big numbers as well. It's a good crowd at the Rivermead Centre.
I think Stretch was a little bit dangerous with his head there, as after he'd thrown the punches, he moved in behind his forehead slightly.
We've seen Garry Cooper, Jim, in previous fights, his marathon slogs that he has. He seems to revel in them, doesn't he, with Jimmy Cable?
Well, he's used to that kind of fight, and he's more suited to that kind of fight than Stretch is. And that was a good right-hand punch, and since the punch landed, Stretch's nose has been pouring blood, so it really was a solid smack. Oh, good punch from Stretch.
And so was that, and he did well to get up from that. There's no standing 8 count or mandatory in British rules. Now, as he swapped it around already, and he looks as though he could do it in a second. With a minute to go in the second now.
Cooper's eyes looked pretty clear, but he was obviously shaken from that punch. He got up quickly, recovered quickly, but Stretch has seen his chance and he's looking to repeat it.
I think the pride as well as the chin was hurt there too, Jim, for Cooper. I don't think he could believe it. He was on top for a second or two there, and then he suddenly got caught. But he is, as I said at the start, he's a very dangerous puncher, Stretch, and that goes right back from the amateur days. Always club champion. Try and force Cooper to drop the guard, but that's unlikely with an old campaigner. Some of those punches to Stretch land on Cooper's gloves as well as his chin, but those that are getting through look painful enough. And just as well he pulled that one back. But you could call it a bit of a lived-in face, isn't it, Garry Cooper? He's a real old campaigner in this game, and always gives his heart into it as well, which is respected by other tradesmen. Here's the knockdown, Jim.
Yeah, that's a good little punch, good little right hand, bang on target. Cooper recovered very quickly, but nevertheless, it was a good little right hook.
Yeah, we can have another look at that. I like the way the old pros like Jim call it a good little punch. I think it's a bit more than little. It's painful too, isn't it, when it lands? There it is there. It was a double. The left hand came in and then over the top.
Round 3.
Round 3. And really warmed up now to the promise of a really hard championship fight this. The garish trunked Stretch. He doesn't pretend to be modest when he's in the ring, and it often pays off. The pumpkin, he's going to trade on that right hand, isn't it? It's a difficult one to stop, as you were a southpaw as well, isn't it, to block?
Yeah, well, Stretch has the right idea now. He's not throwing single punches, he's putting punches together. Cooper has a very tight defence, difficult to get through. So if you put punches out in 3s and 4s, then maybe the final one will land on target. And the couple of bits of successes that Stretch has had has been with 3 or 4 punches.
Well, there it is again. You see Cooper always dangerous when he wants to fling himself at Stretch, and bringing his fan club to their feet there.
See, the dangerous thing about Cooper, he doesn't do anything fancy. He does pretty much the same thing all the time. A tight defence, blocks punches, but he's always within hitting range to come back with a counter. And that again was a nice couple of punches from Cooper.
See there, he's trying to find his way in, wasn't he, Stretch? And he shuts up the drawbridge a little bit there, Garry Cooper, and I don't blame him for that. That's what the game's about. The record, of course, for 15 wins for Cooper and only 5 stoppages suggests that he's not the hardest of hitters, but he does wear opponents down a great deal. I think Stretch has got a torn glove there. We may have to have a hold-up here. Well, touch of the Muhammad Ali's, is it or not? And only Fossey there in the blue has told the referee he wants to do something. Yes, in fact, they are changing the glove. And it's good to see that the whip there, Ernie Draper, has it ready. And there's Lionel Blair, and then just along there, the dark-haired lady, that's Lionel's daughter Lucy, who's currently Stretch's girlfriend. Well, in fact, they've changed Stretch's left-hand glove and Cooper's right-hand glove. I don't know what that's most unusual, Jim. In a championship fight, both sides have had gloves changed, and they're definitely split. I can see the Border Control Secretary pulling them out and saying what's gone wrong here. So this round interval will run over time. And there's the General Secretary, Boxing Board of Control, who's looked at the gloves and doesn't understand why they should have split like that. And I think he'll be having words with the suppliers. And there's a well-known face, does a bit of verbal battling, doesn't he? The MP, Julian Critchley, who's the Boxing Board of Control's administrative steward for this fight.
Same result, round 4.
So round 4 with changed gloves. Does that disconcert into a boxer, Jim, when that happened? When each of them probably didn't know that the other one was having it changed.
No, I think in a hard fight it's quite comforting, a few seconds extra just to get yourself back together again. They probably quite enjoyed that. I don't think that'll put anybody off.
There was a time, Jim, when there were so many fighters around like Garry Cooper. Real good old workmen who hang in there all the time and make it difficult to beat them without being flashy and demonstrative in any way.
Well, I think the nice bit about Cooper, most of them never end up being British champions, so it's nice to see Cooper coming through all the hard times and becoming champion. It's a memory for life. But he's going to have to work hard to hang on to that title tonight. There are a couple of bits of success he's had when he's shaken Stretch once or twice. That's given him a little bit of confidence, but he'll just keep doing what he's doing and look to pot shot Stretch now and again behind these tight defence.
He actually lost his first crack at the championship against Jimmy Cable at Alexander Palace back in February '85. A lot of head hunting with the punches there, both of them straight, and Stretches looked the more powerful of the two, and I suspect they were. There he is, you can see trying to go through that like Lance, right through that high guard, not easy. Got a bit of action here, Jim, in the replay with Stretch.
Well, Stretch's punches have always been a lot sharper than Cooper's. That was a good left hand, plenty of power. It just is not landing clean on target because of Cooper's tight defence. But nevertheless, good punches all the way through.
And there's the Cooper's team. Trainer David Veal, I think at one time was his manager.
Seconds out. Round 5.
Into the 5th round then of the schedule 12 for the British Light Middleweight Championship, with the dark-trunked Garry Cooper defending his championship against Gary Stretch from St Helens, and now domiciled and working spare time in London as the model. And the self-proclaimed gifted one is going to have to work now in his challenge for this championship, because he's a good, durable fighter, but he'll need to be Cooper because he's soaked up a few good punches there. And that would look like a left hand. He caught him square on with that. Now, he can't complain that he doesn't hear this, and it's early in the round, so Stretch has got a good chance, surely now, of stopping Cooper with 2 minutes to go. He's got to be sure he doesn't go in too recklessly and catch your head and get cut. You can bet Cooper will try and con his way out of this. 193 pro rounds before he came into this fight. But as they say, it's very much a young man's game, this. Blackened around the left eye of the champion, Jim, isn't he?
Yeah, that was the best fight, or the best punch of the fight so far from Stretch. A cracking punch, and the damage was done a few seconds actually before Cooper went over. But that punch was a beauty, and Stretch is keeping nice and cool and calm. Still a little bit dangerous with his head inside. He pushes his forehead after he throws the punches, but he's kept himself nice and cool, nice and calm, and he's looking for a second chance at Cooper now.
Yes, referee Morgan just mentioned it to him as he moved in with them. He's really shipping some punishment now, Cooper, slowly and inexorably. Nice work being punched out now by Stretch. And he's really made a big point of that, and I don't understand why, while Stretch is doing that, Jim. He's well on top. Why is he bothering to sort of annoy the referee and make himself unpopular when he's winning?
He's been very dangerous with his head all the way through. Every time they go into a clinch, he pushes his forehead up, and it'd be awful silly to risk a disqualification now.
Well, there it is, as you say, the experience now, but I'm afraid 198 rounds at this stage is not helping Cooper at all. Now, Jim, you can see that knockdown now.
Now, beautiful punch from Stretch. Cooper caught Cooper bang on target. He managed to keep his feet and then ended up with a beautiful punch. And that second one threw
Short,
right over.
sharp, merciless too, wasn't it? So Johnny Clark, the old bantam champion, saying, take it cool now, don't get in trouble with the referee. Referee walked over to the corner.
Round 6.
And we're into round 6 of this championship fight with the defending champion, Garry Cooper. Just well under fire, actually, in the fifth. Well, it looks as though he might be obeying corner orders a bit, Jim Stretch, and biding his time if he thinks he's got the fight in the bag.
Well, 12 rounds is a long time, especially the first time you've been asked to do it. But he doesn't want to drop the pace too much. He must keep things firm under control. Maybe not look for knockout punches with every blow, but keep the work rate going and find the openings.
And the vying camps are chanting for their men, and it seems as though the Stretch people have got the front row seats and the Cooper boys are at the back. Definitely looks a bit of a calm down round, the orders for Stretch, Jim, but as you say, he can't afford to drop the pace too much.
No, it's possible he's now thinking about the 12 rounds. He's realised how difficult it is to get through cleanly to Cooper, and he's realised it could go a few more rounds. So just wait for the openings now, and when he gets his chance, put the power in. Don't make every punch a knockout punch. Stretch Stretch has a careless habit of leaning back with his hands down. Cooper's managed to land his right hand a few times because of this, but hasn't had the power really to get the dividends from it. But Stretch is a little bit careless as he pulls back.
Well, we've got a less than glove trouble now with Cooper, just a lace hanging down on the left hand there. They may stop it, or a bandage actually, probably. Well, as I said at the start, he's full of heart, isn't he, Cooper? He just keeps going all the time. And quite heavily swelling coming up now around that eye of Cooper, but you won't find him complaining, the old pro, needing the ice pack on the neck as well. It's hot in this hall anyway. There's a bit of replay again, Jim.
Yeah, well, Stretch dropped the pace, but see, there was that little right hand from Cooper, but not enough power to trouble him. But still good boxing from Stretch. He picked his punches more and they settled down a little bit. So we can't fault him, but he wants to pick up the pace slightly and just keep Cooper under pressure. Okay, another good round for Stretch.
Sales out, round 7.
Almost a bolt start there in round 7 by Garry Stretch. Took it a bit easier in the 6th round and got tagged. And now is he going to open up again? Certainly had a good 5th round and really had the champion on the hook. Questions to be asked in the final bits of the jigsaw, as it were, when a fighter starts going into long distance fights for the first time. The Stretch is no reason to believe he can't stay strong for 12, but we've got to find out.
Well, the Stretch has certainly dropped the pace, but the work he does is still good. It's still good power about his punching and about his movement, but he certainly dropped the pace that little bit, maybe just worried about burning out. But there are no signs of tiredness on Stretch.
Maybe Stretch is wondering, come on, what have I got to do to stop this, the old champ? Little bits of frustration there, Jim, I suspect.
Well, some opponents frustrate you because you can't hit them at all. Here we have one who's frustrating Stretch because although Stretch is hitting him, he's not really making any impression apart from the times he's had him on the floor. But Cooper is a very good defence. He braces for punches all the time, so he has his neck muscles ready to take the punch, and finally Stretch is beginning to come a little bit, lose his rhythm that little bit and become careless.
In the back of the hall than it was, and there was a reply immediately by Stretch. right at the end of the round, Jim, this replay.
A good punch from Cooper, but again, doesn't seem to have the power to trouble Stretch. And every time Stretch takes a punch, he comes banging back with his own, which suggests to me that he's not really running out of steam.
Harsh words there from Aldoni Fossey and the champion, the ring, Garry Clark.
Round 8.
Round 8. And a couple of times I've no doubt that Stretch and certainly his supporters thought that he was going to stop Cooper, but well, as I said early on, that Tim Watt and I have seen Cooper in some long distance tussles, and he always hangs in there. There's a strong man in the Welshman Michael Harris that he defeated for the championship. He was an England rep too, Cooper, and right back in 1973 he was a National Association Boys Club champion as well. So his early pedigree is a good one. Not putting the punches in any clusters at all, Stretches. They're nearly all 1-2 shots all the time.
Yeah, well, he must know at this stage he's well in front. But still, when he sees a chance, he's let go with that solid right hook there. You know, he still has the powerful punches ready. He's just dropped the pace slightly, as I said. His work is still good, his punches are still good. It's just that he's settling down a little bit, a bit more thought into it, which you can't really criticise. He's still in control. Well, I don't know if that right hand from Cooper seems to have shaken Stretch a little bit. Just when I'm saying he was under control. His eyes are clear, but that was a useful little right hand from Cooper. There goes the head again.
Well, at least it's succeeded in spurring him back into action. I agree with you, Jim. He definitely looked a bit confused there. Well, as the pace and the plot thickens, as they say, it's getting a bit rougher now. They're both bloodied around the face a bit. And Stretch's nose bleeding fairly heavily. But he's still picking the occasional harder shots than the champion. He really led there and turned it into an uppercut with a southpaw right-hand lead. And really, it's almost unstoppable. A little risky, you leave yourself open to do it, no doubt, but that got through okay. Threw his hands in the air as if he was really pleased with that round, Garry Cooper. I suppose he's rather pleased the way he's come back into the fight a bit. Jim, this is Cooper's bit of success in replay, and that's the point where he stunned Stretch.
Yeah, well, Stretch usually blazes back, but after taking that right hand, he's looking for the safety of a close-up clinch, and he's just looking to stop Cooper from working. There, the legs gave a little bit of the twist there, so he was in a slight bit of trouble there.
And then right after that, despite the fairly heavy nosebleed, really, and the second's working on it now, that was the punch. He turned that in beautifully there.
Singles out. Round 9.
Round 9. And now it's become a hard slog for a scheduled 12-rounder for this championship.
Well, Cooper was throwing his arms in the air at the end of the previous round, so maybe the fight has reached the stage he's been looking forward to, and maybe he intends now going to work. We'll see who has the most steam left. Is it Cooper or will it be Stretch?
Stretch doesn't mind grabbing there for a bit of safety either, Jim.
Well, this is probably the worst time for things to change when you've been in charge of a fight. Still 4 rounds to go, so a long time in front of you, and to see a tough champion come back at you like this. I don't know how long Cooper can keep this going, but he fancies it at the end of the previous round, and he certainly raised the pace. So I wonder what's going through Gary Stretch's mind now. What does he do? Does he hang on to his lead, take things easy, or does he stand his ground and blaze back? But it's really turned into a cracking fight now.
Well, it took them a long time when the board ordered this match to get them together, various postponements. But it's been worth it. It was always bound to be a hard slog. There was a time when Stretch looked as though he was going to be in total command, but he's lost a bit of that.
See, Cooper's legs still seem to have plenty of strength about them, which is the main thing at this stage in the fight. He's still up on his toes, dancing back from Stretch. So he still looks to have quite a bit left.
Yeah, he's a bit of a red rum of the ring, isn't he, Cooper? It was thrown down there. The referee won't have that. Quite rightly, shouts out push, wipes the gloves, although there's no rosin on the ring at all these days, very rarely. And is Cooper back in trouble again in the 9th? We've seen it before and he's come back. Can he do it again? A bit reckless there, the bumping and boring there, Jim. Now no wonder the faces are swelling up. Well, there it is. He's got a bit of a plum around that left eye there, but doesn't seem to bother this fellow at all. He really is. He's throwback to the old school, this one. Keeps going. As Jim Waller said, he's deserved his success to get this championship. Well, I wonder what this young lady's thinking as Garry Stretch now blooded up a bit. I don't think he'll be doing any modelling in the next day or two anyway, whatever happens here. Jim?
Well, probably Cooper's best spell in the fight so far, although Stretch did show good character to come back towards the end of the round. But Cooper raised the pace and really put in some good work in that round.
And we're into the 10th round of this light middleweight championship at 11 stone. 10-13 and 3/4 Stretch, 10-12 and 1/4 Cooper. The bridge of his nose there, Stretch, just damaged a little bit. I noticed him, they were snarling at each other. Well, certainly Stretch was at the end of rounds early on, but now they're paying a little bit of respect with a friendly acknowledgement at the end of the round, as if to say, we both know we've got plenty of guts.
Yeah, well, it's been a hard one all the way through, and Stretch must really respect Cooper now, the way he's coming back and really making it tough for him. Now Stretch has to decide what tactics he uses. Does he hang on to his lead, try safety first and keep a distance between him and Cooper, or does he stand his ground and try to fight it out?
to this stage of a fight, Jim, the skill doesn't go out of the window at any stage, but that's when you've got to really get the old courage in the boots, isn't it?
Yeah, it's character that's needed now, but both these men, well, Cooper's been showing that all through his career. Stretch has only been asked to show a couple of times, but he's shown it here tonight. The way he came back towards the end of the previous round and got control in the last 10 seconds or so. There's plenty of grit, but a real typical championship contest we have now.
He gets in, he leads with punches straight, and then gets in and grabs a bit to nullify Cooper coming back. He's acknowledging the corner men there. It's easier said than done.
Stretch is looking a little bit tired now for the first time. His legs are looking tired. These movements, and he's always happy to get into a clinch and grab, as we can see now. Stretch is really feeling the pace now, and who can blame him?
Well, he had one really hard go with Dennis Cronin, a really war of attrition. Well, he needs all the attention that he can get there, doesn't he, Garry Stretch? Really, and their experience that it's certainly only possible, is patching the fighter up and really getting them ready for the next round and motivating them. That's what it's all about. Well, manager Jack Bishop now, an old-timer, got the job of saying to Cooper, come on, if this is close now, it's got to really happen in the last 2 rounds. And it's round 11 of this real slog for the British Light Middleweight Championship. Now it's become.
I think to add to Stretch's problems, he's shaken by another right hand here. But I saw Stretch shaking his right hand as he went back to the corner. I think he's really banged his hand up. He's had trouble with knuckles in the past. But he really showed the pace in the previous round. He was shaking a couple of times. As you see now, he's pushing himself onto Cooper because he just wants to get the next couple of rounds over with.
He's as gutsy as they come to, Stretch, Jim, isn't he? As we saw against the Welshman Dennis Cronin. What a war that was at the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh yeah, he's shown plenty of courage tonight, particularly in the last couple of rounds. When the pace has slowed and Cooper has raised the pace and come back at him, Stretch has stayed there, always pleased to stand his ground and fire back again. But I certainly have him well in front, so he'd be well advised not to take too many chances. Cooper's not really a big puncher, but you don't want to, at this stage in a fight, you can't give anybody 3 hits.
Starting to fight on grit alone now, Stretch, because as Jim Watt was saying, he showed a bit of tiredness coming out there, but he can still put a few punches together. But the whole time the champion just keeps coming on, a bit like an old freight train, keep going forward.
You have to give Stretch full credit here because things seem to be slipping away from him, but he's come firing back and he's having a good round now. That was a lovely right uppercut, even Cooper himself acknowledged it. But he's shown plenty of character, plenty of courage.
It looked as though he was sagging a bit too there, Cooper, with just under a minute to go in the 11th. But we've said that a couple of times before in the fight, and he's pulled himself together again, the champion. Well, it's going to go into the last round, and I tell you, that's going to be a slog too. The referee happened to have it close. Bit of throwing there, a bit of needle at the end of the round. Frustration showing, bit of booing as well for Stretch throwing his man there. Well, I wonder if we dare have a peep at the referee there, scoring 5 points to the winner of each round and a proportionate fraction in half points. I would think 5, 4.5 has been the... Did I say 5, Jim? Yeah, that dates me a little bit, doesn't it? Now we're into the 10-point system.
Result, 12th and last round.
Well, the old warriors acknowledging each other there. I tell you that they both realise that they've given all and taken it into the last round of this championship. You've got Stretch in front still, Jim, but has it closed at all in the last few rounds?
No, Cooper's work has been better in the last 3 rounds, but he hasn't done enough to turn the fight around. Stretch has always really been the busier of the two. The better boxer, better punches all the way through. I have him pretty comfortably ahead in points.
Well, if he had 1 or 2 stamina rocky spells in the 10th and 11th, Jim, I think Stretch has taken a deep breath to come out and give us a last round showing, and well, he stayed well.
I like the way Stretch came back in the 11th round. It was a good time to have another good round because Cooper's confidence was growing. He was getting himself back into the fight, but Stretch met him bang in the centre of the ring and started firing back, and he's doing that now.
Fell into that one, Cooper. He was leaning in and Stretch counter-punched. Clear round it looks again for Stretch now, which really makes sure he gets home. Not that we've ever been muched out, certainly Jim hasn't. But if the referee wanted something clear-cut, he's getting it. He should have his points okay by the end of the 11th. They don't have to tot up the whole bout. They do them as they go along. A plus and minus. So he should be able to get the decision the moment the final bell goes with just under a minute. Good, determined finish too by the young challenger.
Well, Stretch isn't allowing Cooper to have a final desperate effort of turning the thing round by a knockout victory. He's finishing as he started by dictating the action and forcing Cooper back.
So there it is, the countdown now, which looks like the hailing of a new champion at the 11-stone division in Britain. And both boxers there watch their heads in the last dying seconds. And there it is, referee walks away, and he's pointing to Stretch, and there it is. And Ernie Fossey gives the old pro, being an ex-pro himself, he knows exactly what Cooper's been through. Here's the Stretch entourage there. And the girlfriend, and Lionel Blair there, the girlfriend bursting into tears, as you would expect. A bit of jeering, but unfairly by presumably the Cooper supporters. As the Member of Parliament, Julian Critchley, awaits to give Garry Stretch the Lonsdale belt. And a good friendly finish there after it was a little spiteful early on. And there's the tears running down Lucy's face. First championship fight for her, I'm sure. And probably she's hoping to last the strain she must have been through there. Good chat away there by the new champions trainer, and respect for the old champion. A nice sporting touch.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee Adrian Morgan scores the contest. Garry Cooper 115.5 points, and the new British light middleweight champion at 118.5. Garry Stretch!
118.5 against 115.5. It's clear enough, Jim.
The Lonsdale belt, ladies and gentlemen, will be presented to the winner by Mr. Julian Critchley, Member of Parliament. And I would like to say...
And there goes the belt with Mr. Julian Critchley, the MP steward in charge for this show, for the Boxing Board of Control, and the great Lonsdale belt.
And I want a big tribute to Garry Cooper.
Well, Stretch's hand is raised. The Master of Ceremonies, Peter Dennis, is asking for a big cheer for a brave loser, and he deserves it. And here's Garry Newbon then talking to the new champion.
Garry, congratulations. You waited a long while for this fight, but I'm sure, first of all, before we talk about your performance, you'd like to congratulate a great old champion there.
I do. He gave me the best fight of his life, best fight of my life, and very proud to set this off him. He was a good champion.
Well, you built up an early lead, but it looked as if there might be a question mark about your pace, the way that he was pushing you at the end.
No, I damaged my left hand about the fourth round, and I think maybe it's broken, I'm not sure.
Really? Was that when the glove was split? Because it was about the fourth round.
Yeah.
Can you remember what happened? He split his glove at the same time.
No, I hit him funny on the top of his head, and I got a terrible pain up my arm, and I was very scared to throw it there on after, so it became a bit of a slog.
What effect did that have on you then?
Well, I couldn't keep him off me. I didn't have the power with just the jab to keep him at bay, so we started getting very untidy. And I really just, when he came inside, I just took him for a little walk and stayed with him because I didn't want to start trading with just the one hand.
Right, well, a lot of people are going to predict an exciting future for you now, but one word of caution, you do tend to use your head a lot. That might get you in a bit of trouble?
I'll have to learn not to.
And you nearly broke the heart of your girlfriend, Lucy Blair. She was in tears at the end, but she was looking very anxious with her father, Lion. All right.
Yeah, well, she's all right, I think. Can I say one thing, please? I'd like to thank my trainer, John, because she never get a chance, really, other than nights like this. And my dad.
Johnny Clark.
Yeah. And most of all, my brother, Ronnie, who couldn't be here. This belt's for him.
Congratulations, new champion. Feels good?
Feels great.
Well done, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you once again to please pay tribute to a wonderful champion, Garry Cooper! And welcome to the new British light middleweight champion, Garry